And welcome back to the Hot Lap. We are talking the British Touring Car Championship second weekend, rounds 4, 5 and 6 at Brands Hatch. Arguably the best British circuit. Maybe one of the best circuits in the world. I think Silverstone is second, but Brands Hatch has equally as much history because Nigel Mansell won his first race here. It wasn't the British Grand Prix though, it was the European Grand Prix. James Hunt won here in 1976 as well, on his way to F1 Championship glory, and many fantastic touring car races happened here. They also have bikes here as well, and GT Challenge Europe, the British GT Championship. Many wonderful things happen at Brands Hatch, and this weekend that many wonderful things is going to be the BTCC. So, as you can see, the 9th, the 10th of May is going to be the British Touring Car Championship. But last time out in Donington, it very much was, as we will be able to see here, Ash Sutton winning 2 races and getting 1/3. So he's understandably leading the championship on 58 points. Tom Ingram in second on 51. Tom Chilton in third on 42. Dan Camish in fourth on 37 points. 1 point ahead of fifth place Daniel Robotham. Jake Hill, championship defender, the current championship person. Well, the current championship holder title. I've lost for words, haven't I? 7th is Aidan Moffat. 8th is Chris Smiley. 9th is Mikey Doble. 10th is Adam Morgan on 17 points. Now, when we look at the manufacturers, we've got Hyundai XL Motorsport on 95. It is very close because Alliance Ford Racing on 94. Then you've got BMW and Toyota some way away on 58 and 46. In terms of the team championships, Team Virtue all the way, sort of, because it's also Napa Racing UK all the way. Both equal on 92 points. It's going to be really interesting who comes ahead this weekend. And all the way down, it's almost, we're talking the Mariana Trench Golf after one weekend of points, with Laser Tools Racing on 36 and LKQ Eurocar Parts on 33. Restart Racing on 31. That is your top 5. Now, excuse me, when we look at our independent championship, we've got Chris Smiley leading with a 1 win, 1 second and 1/3 on 52. Mikey Doble with 2 wins on 51. Didn't get a second or a third though for the independents. Josh Cook, the man who I probably think is favourite for that independent championship, on 41. Fourth though, rookie star Max Hall. Could he do it? Could he win it? He's on 30C, and not impossible. It's gonna take some though. Stephen Jelly on 35. Then it's Dexter Patton in 6th, Nicholas Hamilton in 7th, and Daniel Lloyd in 8th. Now, in terms of the independent teams, it's Motor Parts Direct with Paramax Racing. Yeah, you need to take a deep breath before you say that one. 53 points, 1 point ahead of Restart Racing. Then One Motorsport on 47. Rocket Racing with Unlimited Motorsport on 43. Powder Monkey Brewing Co. with SE Doc. What a nice 33 points there. And finally, let's have a look at the Jack Sears Trophy standings. Ronan Pearson is leading that on 48. It's very close. Darrell DeLeon on 47. Max Hall on 41. This one, I think, potentially could win. Dexter Patterson in 4th. Nicholas Hamilton in 5th. And then rounding off, Charles Rayford, Sam Osborne, and James Dorlin. So when we look at the what's brewing for Brands Hatch on the Saturday, we have the Quick Fit Touring Car Championship practice at 9:30. Not bad at all. We then have at 13:50 the Caterham 7 UK Championship, if you're interested in that. But a lot of people are going to be eyeing 3, which is the Quick Fit Touring Car Championship qualifying. I think that qualifying is more exciting than the current F1 qualifying, which is also very, very exciting. I don't think F1 would work with this BTCC qualifying, but I think for the British Touring Car Championship, it very much does. And remember, this is going to be the first qualifying where you're going to have a disadvantage if you're high up in the championship. So let's see what Ash Sutton can do. It is a small track, so fingers crossed, I guess. But the big day, 9 o'clock, Sunday, the 11th of May. Now, it opens with the BTCC Pit Lane Walkabout Autograph session. Yeah, you need to be there early. People start queuing normally about 8:30. You're going to get in, even if you're at the back of the queue. It'll take some time. Now, you're not going to get every team's signature. Very unlikely because of the massive queue. It's a really popular thing. If you've got 3 or 4 favourites, you will no doubt definitely get them. You'll also have enough time, if you don't want a signature, to get to all of the garages if you want to take a picture of the drivers or have, take a sneak peek with your camera, etc. inside the garages there to get a few shots, definitely. So that happens at 9, but the first race, 11:30, 24 laps of Brands Hatch, followed by, obviously, we've got the lunch break at 12:15 to 13:50. If you are trackside, then 14:05 is the next Quick Fit British Touring Car Championship, ending at 5:10 with the third race. Some people may have gone but it's going to be a sunny day, hopefully, because this is the Brands Hatch weather, albeit we're looking at the weather on Sunday the 5th of May. It is the UK. Things can change within 12 hours, let alone 24 or even 5 or 6 days. However, I think, fingers crossed, hopefully it's going to be sunny. This is the Brands Hatch layout. They are using the Indy layout. So we start, I'm coming off Clark Curve into the Brabham Straight, anything but straight, Paddock into Paddock Hill Bend, Haywoods Hill, Druids Bend, Graham Hill Bend, as you can see, Cooper Straight, Surtees, McLaren, Clearways, and all the way back again. In fact, let's have a look at that hot lap, shall we? Let's get into our BTC. Adam Morgan again. He just loves appearing, doesn't he? Okay, well, Adam Morgan, we will be talking about you soon. I absolutely promise, and we will be talking about James Dorden soon as well. I absolutely promise as well. But let's get into the track of the show. Oh, there he is again. Let's get into our hot lap, shall we? This is the Brands Hatch hot lap. As you can see, we're now coming out of we're kind of coming out of Clearways into the Clark Curve, on the power into the Brabham Straight. You can overtake it, but in terms of qualifying, this is one of the hardest turns in sim racing. It's like, where do you brake? Where do you turn in? Where do you put the power? It is one of the most challenging corners in all of motorsport. Is Paddock Hill Bend, up Haywoods Hill into Druids Bend. Very popular overtaking here. Going down, you normally see cars side by side now as we're coming into Graham Hill Bend. Sometimes the overtake is still going on with the cars side by side into the anything but real straight, I guess, Cooper Straight, into Damon Hill's Dad's Bend, otherwise known as Graham, into then Surtees and McLaren and Clearways. It's kind of like one long corner, isn't it? And then the last part is the Clark Curve, named after the great Jim Clark himself. And then we get to do the lap all again. It is quite a short lap, which is why there's 24 of them. So let's now be talking about the drivers, shall we? So we're going to do this in opposite championship order, sort of. You kind of get my drift. So let me just set everything up. So we have, let me see. We just get the drive. I need to get the drivers championship up just so, which kind of helps when I know what I'm talking about, because Michael Crease is set to be last, but he's not even racing yet until the second half of the year. So sadly, in last place is this man here, Charles Rainford, who I think in the WSR team, you can give him a kind of like an out, because WSR, as I'm probably already going to mention the J-Kill, they're having big problems with their car. Why? Well, you might notice a certain person that will rhyme with Perkington is not racing. Apparently he's there helping them. But if you're not driving the car there at the weekend, you're not really going to know. And I think they're really, really struggling as a result of that. Next up is Sam Osborne. He's disappointing Donington. I mean, he is, let's be honest, with one of the best teams. Kind of needs to do a bit better. Next up, we've got Nicholas Hamilton. So he is all the way down, in 21st place. But this guy is an absolute hero, even for making it out on the track with everything he's been through. So you're never going to hear me, say anything negative about this guy. He's not particularly favoritism or anything like that. This guy is, to me, an absolute legend. And the fact that he can get within even a blink, if he qualifies last, even within a blink of second to last place. Sometimes he doesn't even qualify last. I've seen all the online stuff. This guy, the fact that he gets up, goes BTCC Racing, and he's got this platform here to do good is absolutely fantastic. And I'm going to hear nothing. I don't want to hear anything negative about him at all, unless obviously if he causes a massive collision, etc. But he's a fairly safe racer, as is this guy here most of the time. Disappointing to have him all the way down in 20th though. Stephen Jelly. He's going to have to do He's going to do a lot better, doesn't he? And I hope he does. He has what I think is a fast Honda that can easily get him into the top 10. In our opinion. So another one, we've got James Dorlin. Again, not particularly great. He's scored a couple of points, like Stephen Jelly. He's on one. But I think is he on 2 points? Yeah, he's on 2 points. I've just checked. So I guess the only way's up. Now, in terms of this guy here, we have Daniel Lloyd. Yeah, he's 18th. You need to do better. He needs to do better, doesn't he? He's in the Hyundai, which we know from Team Virtue is very much a solid car. Also, a guy in another decent car is Aaron Taylor-Smith. Now, with the Toyota, I think they all seem to kind of be it's almost race specific for the Toyota. They seem to be a step down. I remember Rob Huff from last year, for example, doing really well at some weekends and not particularly so well in others. And it was, you know, fairly, sometimes even a big gulf between them. So it's going to be interesting to see what Toyota can do with Mr. Aaron Taylor-Smith. Though another big fan. I'm a massive fan of this guy, Maxwell. What a weekend he had for a rookie, scoring points in his first BTCC race. Yes, he's 16th in the championship, but I think, you know, he's an independent. The only way is up for this guy, and it's going to be very close racing at Donington. He has been to all these tracks before, though, with the mini challenge. Is it wrong that I'm thinking I'm not expecting big things from him, but I want him to do big things at Brands Hatch? So I'm not going to say he's going to. I don't want to say it, so he lets me down. But yeah, come on, Max. So next up is Ronan Pearson, who's 15th in the championship on 5 points. Kind of the same thing with the Toyota. It'd be interesting to see what they can do. What they can do with the Toyota. So another guy here who is disappointed us last year, but he's not doing too bad now. Darryl DeLeon. He's 14th in the championship with WSR. Once again, WSR, Westway Racing, with those BMWs, having a tiny bit of trouble. And I think he will get better and better as we go throughout the year. Just like this guy, one of the men with the most experience in the BTCC driving for Toyota. I think he's going to be as good for Toyota as WSR are going to be missing Gordon Shedden. So I expect big things slowly, especially particularly till the middle of the year in relation to Gordon Shedden. Next up, Dexter Patterson. Again, in the Cooper Leon. I think he's done, bear in mind, the Cooper Leon is not the best car. This guy scored 12 points. He's currently, funny enough, in 12th in the championship. And yeah, I think he had a really solid weekend. One guy that didn't have a solid weekend, let's be honest, is Josh Cook, who, by no fault of himself, everything was going wrong. So I expect a much stronger weekend. Wouldn't surprise me if he qualifies in the top 5. Could he get pole? Being as low down as 11th in the championship, he's not going to have that much, if any, disadvantage going into qualifying. So it's going to be interesting. And we know in the past, Honda have been solid at Brands Hatch in the past. So all good things. Next up, he was at WSR now. He's with the Hyundai Team Virtue. But I think he's going to, he needs to step up. The two Toms are doing very well. So I think once he gets together with the car, he seems to be a lot better in the front-wheel drive Hyundai than he was the rear-wheel drive BMW. So Adam Morgan, I think, is looking good in my, for a decent result in Brands Hatch. I mean, I'll be disappointed if he doesn't get a couple of top 10s. Same with this guy, Mikey Doble. Should be getting in the top 10. He's currently 9th in the championship on 20 points. A podium, yeah, absolutely possible, I think, in Brands Hatch, particularly in the third race when we have, obviously, swap the grid around. Chris Smiley. I always say, is he going to be smiling at the end of this? It's so old, isn't it? But he's currently 8th. I think a really solid start in the Cooper Leon as well, which, once again, I don't think is the most competitive car in touring cars. So I think he's done quite well. Aidan Moffat. Now, he had a better Donington last year, but he's 7th in the championship. I think he could do quite well. But the sad thing was last year, Donington was kind of the highlight for him. And then his campaign just hit reverse, didn't it, quite quickly? Which was a bit of a shame, if I'm honest. So, disappointing from Donington, though, is Jake Hill. Once again, can't get a grip of that BMW. Are they missing? This is the thing. Are they missing Colin Turkington? I'm thinking so. Not even a podium last time out, which was, if I'm honest, a massive shame. But this guy did get a podium last time at Dan Rowbottom. I mean, I don't know if I really possibly saw that coming, but yeah, he did. He absolutely did. So well done, Dan Rowbottom. And next up after Dan Rowbottom is this guy here in the championship. As we mentioned, he's currently 4th. I expect big things from Dan Camish this season. I think he can be a match for Ash Sutton. So he's got that third. Could he get a win? I mean, he's going to have more of an advantage in qualifying than Ash Sutton. If he can out-qualify Ash Sutton, I think he could potentially win at least one of the Brands Hatch races. Does Dan Camish? Next up is Tom Chilton. What a win in Donington! I mean, there's a reason why he was beaming with a smile with a win. That was his only podium. But yeah, he lucked out. I know he lucked out on the reverse grid, but then he made it. He did it, didn't he? He made it work, which was absolutely fantastic. But arguably, the two championship contenders, the first one being Tom Ingram, a really solid weekend, just not as solid as the championship leader, Ash Sutton. So going into Brands Hatch, you've got to think, this guy, yes, he's going to have the disadvantage of qualifying. It wouldn't surprise me if either Ash or Ingram win a race. I'm also going for potentially a Dan Camish with victory as well in one of the three. I think Jake will get at least on the podium. He's going to have to. He really doesn't want those the points getting too big after the second round. But we're definitely going to have to see, aren't we? So, I mean, there we go. So that is our BTCC preview for Brands Hatch. In terms of favourites, it's kind of boring, really, isn't it? We're going for Ash Sutton, Tom Ingram as well, Dan Camish to feature, potentially in a race win. Jake Hill probably to get on the podium. I think a solid weekend from Max Hall. He knows this track well. If he can nail qualifying, he'll be up, I think, get his first top 10 of the year, hopefully. Most certainly, we're going to have our fingers crossed. But until then, oh no, that was the outro. I meant to hit subscribe. That'd be lovely. If you want to subscribe, that would make us indeed very happy. But until then, we'll speak to you soon. Thank you very much. And above all else, stay safe. Now we can do the act.